depending on where you grow up in this city, you may experience an entirely different educational experience. You may end up with a totally different background because of the block you were raised on. And my mom helped me understand what was here for me in District 1, which, you know, when you're 10, you're not thinking about district lines, but also in other places in the city. And because Augusta has a lot to offer. We are downtown. We have the heart of this city where people constantly come in and out. So we can attract all sorts of people just by offering basic attractions in our area. And one of those things that we should be able to provide anyone is transportation, right?
That's right.
The means to get around. So we understand that that's basic. And my mom also, and I remember started kind of learning through the experiences that she brought me up in, learning sort of the limitations of transportation, depending on, again, where you come from and where you're going. So I remember growing up with friends who had never been beyond the river, maybe who'd never been beyond West Augusta. But if we can create those opportunities and create those channels and pathways for people here in District 1 or people from beyond into District 1, into Augusta, into downtown, then we're looking at an entirely different city. One that isn't complacent. I think that's what we've noticed in our leadership, is incredible complacence. Or the will not to change.
Yeah.
We've seen in action. And I'll admit it, I voted for Matt Aiken. And I expected a lot from that vote. Maybe I expected too much. But I didn't expect to be ignored. I didn't expect for leadership to vote against my interests, the interests of our taxpayers. Maybe I expected leadership to probe and question and not just listen to the other powers that be. But my mom's not going to do that. I understand that when she gets in there, she's going to question, she's going to probe, she's going to read, she's going to talk because I've seen it. I've seen my mom go after people in as peaceful a way as possible, because that's my mom. If you know anything about my mom, she's super pacifist. She's a militant pacifist. I don't know if that's possible, but that's something about her. So she's talked to our commissioners. She's spoken with heads of neighborhoods. She already has these relationships that are very important from day one. Because what we need in District 1 is a candidate from day one who has our interests at heart. Who wants to see the buses run on time. Who wants to see our citizens make it to work. Who wants to see people outside of our district come into our district to spend their money and spend their time and come to restaurants and come to events. We need someone who's going to advocate for us every day. And unfortunately, that's been missing in our current leadership. So what we need is for, first of all, Matt Aiken to come out of that position of commissioner. We need new leadership.
Yeah.
I feel like there's only one candidate with the history she does in going to MCG and Augusta College, in sending me to all the schools that she has in this area and getting to know those PTAs. In the background she has at our church as a leader, in the background that she has in our neighborhood as a leader. And so with that, I really hope that you guys will help me and anyone else in District 1 who maybe hasn't seen it, see the possibility, see the positivity, see the change, see how we are looking forward to forward-looking with my mom and our next District 1 Commissioner, Denice Traina.
It's real easy to fight for people when you know the people in your neighborhood. All the people that stop by the community garden and talk and ask questions, and that I can talk to about which herbs and if they want to grow something. It all matters, they matter, and so it's easy. It's real easy for me to want to work on their behalf. I want to say during the campaign, I have to give credit to some of my petition signers, Olivia and Rudy and Amanda, and who else is here that have done that? I think that might be it. Who went out on First Fridays. and helped me collect signatures. We got over 360 signatures in less than 2 months to prove to the commissioners, and I went before the commissioners with those statistics, to prove to them that all of these people wanted better transit. I have to give a big call out to Ms. Betty Flowers. Betty, raise your hand for folks that don't know you. Betty's been working on the bus issue longer than I have. She's a real veteran of the bus system because she's a bus rider as well. So she's been a consumer as well as an advocate for the system. And she continues to believe that we can have better, just like me. So I love and thank Betty for her support. Of course, my family, I do make this pledge to you that when I become commissioner, once a month, maybe it'll be First Friday, maybe it'll be the Saturday market, but I will publicize where I am so that people can eyeball to eyeball talk to me. People from and I think if I attract them to First Friday in Augusta Market, that's not a bad idea. And I would challenge anybody to open a new business. I would be there with them at their grand opening to help them celebrate that. I think a commissioner has to be accessible to their constituents, and really the whole city, because we all work together. I just want to say that most of the people I've spoken to, I think there was one person who just wasn't interested in voting or the political process at all. But we've been talking to lots of people. Most people want to be more involved, they just don't know how to get the information. What's the best way to get it, and who and how. Today, for an example, the first open house at the municipal building. So I was there from 9 to 1. The people that went were wonderful. Got to speak to everybody, hand out materials, and talk to them. Unfortunately, not many people went. And not all the commissioners even went. Open house, sponsored by the City of Augusta. You were supposed to be able to go in and ask any question you had about taxes, water issues, transit. But the pleasant thing was that several, probably 6 people, told me they already knew who I was. And they smiled and said, yeah, go girl. So I was very pleased. That was nice. So again, this today is really about all of you who have helped with the campaign. And I hope that if you are interested in continuing to help with knocking on doors, or maybe calling people, or maybe getting me an invitation to speak to a group of folks that you know that might want to talk to me about what I'm thinking about and what they're thinking about. What does it take to have a better Augusta? My 2 primary issues that I've been talking about have been bringing, expanding our transit, of course, to midnight, reinstating the Fort Gordon route. You know, people want this, they want transit not just for one reason. There's so many reasons, but we have to face the fact that with this economy, we need to think about jobs. We need to get people to Fort Gordon, out Washington Road, out Highway 56, wherever there's industry. And paired up with that, I believe that we ought to be inviting business entities, offering them suitable incentives, not the key to the city, not the right to pollute our water and our land and our soil, but incentives to relocate here because they will job train our residents. Many of our citizens need job training, and if we can get them trained up, they're working, the tax dollars come back in for the city, and all of our public services can be enhanced. And if anybody says to you, oh, we love the transit system, but we don't have the money, remind them that we saved $400,000 with the mobility company managing us. We need to reinvest that. Every businessman and woman should understand that language. You reinvest in the system. You don't put it in the general fund. The other thing is we have a T-SPLOST that's coming to us. 25% of that can be used on the local basis for what local needs. So I say taxpayer dollars for taxpayer needs. Taxpayer dollars for taxpayer needs. We need a more modernized mass transit, and we can get it. We have the means to get it. So now we just need to be pushing and pushing, and I'm glad that you're here today, and I hope you'll be pushing and pushing with me for this next month, and that we'll be celebrating on November 6th. So the next time I hope I'll see you will be here, election night. I hope you all will join me. So I'm giving you that invitation right now. All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Real quick, I'm going to close out the talking bit. My mom's not that comfortable with it, so I will. Campaigns need money. So, the local unions, obviously our family and friends, if you know of anyone that wants to give to this campaign but maybe can't give time, $5 is a sign. That means more visibility around the city. So if it's as little as $2.50, that's half a sign. But obviously, campaigns run on money, and we are the grassroots campaign of District 1. I think maybe that's safe to say. We are the grassroots campaign of District 1. We don't have the big moneyed interests because our priorities are the people. Obviously, we've talked about the goals here are about investing in citizens and citizens' needs. So obviously, in order to get that visibility, get the name recognition, get people out there and interested on November 6th, any financial contribution that you guys can give goes right into signs, goes right into flyers, goes right into the eyes and interests of local citizens around here in order to get Mom in office. Because from day one, I think we know her priority will be the people of District 1 and those that come and spend time and money here. And not necessarily where we can blow a bunch of money that ends up in District 1 to interests that we don't really hold accountable. All right?
Like she said, I love folk music because it's so American. How many roads must a man walk down before people call him, before she sleeps in the sand? And how many times can a cannonball fly before it is forever banned? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. Oh, where can my baby be? The Lord took her away from me. She's gone to heaven, so I've got to be good, so I can see my baby when I leave in this world. But I found my baby somehow that night. I raised his head, he smiled and said, hold me, darling, for a little while.
Vote Denice Traina, District 1 Commissioner.